Hi everybody, and welcome back to Sew Along with Jan. So last night we did a live on June 4th and I was having a lot of technical issues with the software that I was using. So we're going to try this again tonight. So what we're going to do is we are going to unbox and set up my brand new, and I'm very excited, my brand new Scan N Cut SDX325. So I had my older machine was a Disney machine. It was the SDX230D. I've had it for quite a while. I love the machine. I'll probably keep it. I haven't decided yet if I'm going to keep it or sell it. I really do like that machine very much. There are some differences between the 200 series and the 300 series. So this one is the newer one. The main differences are there's quite a difference in the scanner. There's a better scanner in this machine. And I've noticed a big difference when I go to do like scan to cut data and different things like that. So that is one thing that I have really noticed when with the newer machine. The other thing is there's a little card that comes with this machine. I'll grab it from the top here. This little card here is called My Connection, and this will be a separate class. So this is the other thing that's really kind of a new thing that for me, and I'm going to have to practice before I show it to you. But My Connection actually does an upgrade to your some of the sewing machines. So like it does an upgrade to the Luminaire, the Stellaires, and the Avenires. So then you can actually talk directly from the Scan and Cut, and the machine can talk directly to one another. And then and it adds some upgraded functions to the sewing machine so that things can go back and forth. So we will be talking about this later, but that's one of the differences between the 200 series machines and the 300 series machines. So that's why I wanted to get this, because I thought it was time I actually had this function. The only thing that mine wouldn't do that this one does was this. And I thought it was time that I had it. It's been quite a while it's been out. So thought it was time to upgrade. So I did an upgrade. Okay, so we're going to unbox this machine first. I have it just laying here on my table. I did plug it in. So one of the things in the top of the box is the power cord. So I have the power cord plugged in the back. I'll turn it around so you can see it in a minute. And then on top of the box, I just took it out of the box and laid it up here. So on top of the box then is this little box, and it has some of the this has like the manuals and stuff like that. So let me get rid of that. And there's a little get started guide, and we're going to come back to this at the end of the video. It's going to show us how to, it shows a little bit about scanning, just some very basic things. And then it also has a little project at the end. So we'll talk about that. So that's one of the things that was in that little box. And then the other thing that was in the box, let's open the package here, was this little manual. So it's as much manual as they give you. The manual is online, so you do have to you have to download it and print it yourself. So I will put the link to the two newer manuals up in the description of this video so that you can see. You can go download it yourself and print it if you'd like. But they give you like, this is the accessories that come with the machine. Here's your little warranty registration stuff. And then of course, the product safety guide. So those are the items that were in that little baggie, and as well as our get started guide. So we're going to use that in a few minutes. Give me a second. I just dropped my paper. Okay. So we're going to set that aside. I'm going to set this close to me so I can use it again. The other thing that was on top of the machine was this little pamphlet about Artspira, okay? And we'll talk a little bit about Artspira in this video. That's kind of a separate thing, but I will talk to you a little bit about it when we get going. And of course, up here was that card for My Connection. Now, if you don't lose this, you don't want to lose this because there's an activation number in here that you will need to activate, and it's actually on your sewing machine that you'll do that. So, and it works with the, like I said, the Luminaire, the Stellaires, and the Avenir. It does not work on the Baby Lock machine. So this is a Brother product, so it only works with the Brother machines. Okay, so we have these two items. I'm going to keep my little card in a safe place. It also came with some of the iron-on fabric applique contact sheet. So this is sort of like their version of Heat and Bond. It's not quite as, it doesn't adhere quite as well as heat and bond, but it works very similarly, so that you need to use it for like applique that you want to be able to iron it on. So that's a little bit of that came with it. So we'll lay this over here. And then this is the question that I get a lot from people. So let's turn this around real quick so you can see where I plugged it in. I'm sorry, my table's a little small. So right back here, I plugged it in back here. Okay, I took all the tape off the machine. Let's move the camera over just a little bit. And then there's a little door that opens up in the back here, and that helps hold the mat from drooping off the back of the machine. So make sure you pull that out, plug it in. So we got that done. So I'm going to go ahead and turn this. And you can probably see these little legs up on above me here. This is my Cricut. I found these little legs. I love them because then I can put the Cricut on the top, and then my Scan and Cut, when I'm just storing it, is so nice. There's little legs but down here that I can just put it back like this, and then I can have both of them up on my table at the same time. So it's just very handy. So if you have a couple machines and one of them's a Cricut, that works really great for this. Okay, so I'm going to pull this out, and let's go ahead and lift up the screen. Okay, and there was some tape up here, so I've removed all the tape. So here's our screen, and I'm going to bring the camera back around here a little bit closer. And let's go ahead and let's talk about what was in the doors. Now, this is the question I get a lot from people, is when they open up their machine, they all call me, Jan, I didn't get any blades, I didn't get anything with my machine. Well, this little paper is on the door that opens up, okay? And it talks a little bit how to load the mat. That's kind of how to load the mat instructions. So we're going to take that off. And then down in here are these two little doors. And there's normally a little sticker right here, and I've already removed it. So you just take that sticker off. And then these little doors open, and that's where all those cool little things are, is down inside these little doors. So let's see what we got in here. So in this side over here, we have there's a couple of pens, and then the little pen holder. Now, the one thing I've noticed that the machines don't seem to come with the little, remember the little set of 6 colored pens that you could use like markers? They don't seem to come with those anymore. You can buy them separately. This one just has, these are water soluble pens. So they're like for quilting. So these are water soluble. So I will just leave these down in here, and the pen holder. The other thing it comes with then is in this little baggie. This little white baggie, you'll have your little spatula for getting things off the mat. And then, let me grab the other thing here. You get the little stylus, or I call it the pokey tool. So the little stylus. That'll be in this little baggie. And then you get your 2 blades. So this machine comes with, again, this is the SDX325. This comes with the standard auto blade, which is the black one. Oops, I can't get the bag open. There we go. I think the bag ripped, so it's not going to open up for me. Well, we'll just rip it. Sometimes you just have to do it, don't you? Okay, we'll get rid of the bag. So here is the standard auto blade, and it is the black one. So all of the blades and everything that I had for my SDX230D will work with this. I also have some extra ones that I'll have that I use all the time, and I have one like this marked for fabric. So you've seen me do that in other videos. I'll also link all my other Scan and Cut videos in this in the description of this video, so that you'll be able to see all the other ones. There's probably about 40 videos, 35 or 40 videos there, so quite a few Scan and Cut videos. So this is our auto blade. So we're going to be using this. There's a little cap on the end, so it's good to keep these caps. So I like when I take this out of the machine, I put the cap on the end, because if you push this in, that the blade comes out, and you don't want to cut yourself. So I like the little covers. So we'll put this up at the top here. The other blade you get with this machine is the fabric blade. So this is a fabric blade, but it is made for fabric without a bonding agent on it. So no heat and bond. And like I use Terrio Magic to stiffen my fabric so that it's like paper, and that's when I use this blade. This is a 35-degree blade, so it's very flat. This one is a 60-degree blade. There's also a light blue vinyl auto blade that is 45 degrees. I actually like that blade really well. I use it for a lot of other things besides vinyl. So that one does not come with the machine. It's just these two. All right, so we'll put this back in the little pocket here. And then we'll close the door. So that's where all the little gadgets are. So if you think you're missing stuff, that's where they are, is in these two little doors. Now I wanted to show you something else on the side of my machine over here that I have put on. And I love this because I'm always looking for my little pokey tool, my little stick. So we're going to turn this around again quick. Okay. So see how I've got, this is like one of those little command hooks. It's one of the real small ones. And I just attached it to the side of my machine over here, kind of up on the left side. And then this, my little pokey tool, my little stylus will slip right in there. And then I always know where it is. So that is one of my favorite little gadgets that I put on every machine I've ever had. I always have that on there. Then I can always find that tool because I'm always losing it. Okay, so we'll turn this back around and open the door. And the other thing that I wanted on my machine is, you know, we can't, it's not official until we have a Sew Along with Jan sticker. So I have to have one of my foiled stickers. So there's my Sew Along with Jan sticker that I put on my machine right here. So you know where you're watching. This is my little sticker. So I like making those with my foiling machine. Okay, now the other thing that's in the box, let me grab them here. I have a couple more things over here. Underneath the machine, when you pull it out, you're going to get your mats. Let me pull this back so you can see them a little better. Okay. You're going to get a couple of mats. So this machine comes with the fabric mat. That's this gold one. Okay, so that's the fabric mat, and that's that super duper sticky one. So we'll set that one aside. We're not going to use that one tonight. And then you get a standard mat, which is the purple one, and that's the one I use for most of my cutting is a standard mat. Now I am going to grab one of my old mats tonight. These are pretty sticky for cardstock when you first get them. So we're going to do this little project with this piece of cardstock, and there's also a piece of cardstock in here. So we're going to do our little project at the end. They have you make a little box. It's very cute. And we'll use this piece of cardstock. But I think I'll use one of my older mats that's not quite so sticky. So I'll keep my new mat for when I need a new one. So we're going to set this aside. But let's take this piece of cardstock out of here. So I'll grab my cardstock out of here and set my brand new mat aside. So here's that cardstock. It's kind of a navy blue. And I'll set this aside. Okay, so that's all the stuff that comes with the machine. And of course the power cord, which I plugged in. All right. So we need to turn this on, and we're going to set this thing up. Now, if you've never done this before, it's a little daunting sometimes because there's actually quite a few steps to it. There's some software that you need in order to make to use this wirelessly with your computer to the machine. And so we'll talk about that in a minute. I'm trying to make sure I check all my notes here to make sure I have everything. Okay, so here's our blade, and I'm going to go ahead and turn my machine on here. Get a little closer. And I'm going to get as close as I can. I'm on a tripod here, so I just want to make sure that you can see it. So I'm going to touch the screen and click OK. Okay, so the first thing that you need to do is to get your machine on the internet. So you need to get it on your router. And you can see that that looks like there's a little bell up here. So if I just touch this, and then this is the little wireless symbol up here in the left corner. So I'm going to go ahead and touch this. And it says set up wireless LAN setting. Yeah, we do want to do that, don't we? Because we want to be able to use it and send the designs back and forth from my computer. So I'm going to click OK. And it's going to take me to the network page in the settings. So this is the settings right now. Okay. If I go back to the home page, if I hit the back page, it'll take me back to the home page. I can also get to that same page by hitting the little wrench. and then it's down a few pages. So just hit the little down arrow, and it's down a few pages where it says network, and that's where we were. So if I click that network button, we're back to that same page, okay? So I'm going to turn on my wireless LAN. So in other words, turn the wireless card on in the machine. So we need to get that turned on. And then I'm going to hit my setup wizard. Let me grab my little stylus. It might be easier for you if I use that. So then what it's going to do, it's going to look around and see what it finds for routers. And my router is Jan's Dollhouse. So I'm just going to click on that, and I'm going to click OK. Now it's going to ask for my password. So if you give me just a moment, I'm going to pause the video just a moment while I type my password in, okay? And then I will be back to continue on with getting it all set up. Give me just a second here. Okay, so I got my password typed in, and it says I'd hit OK. There was a little OK button down here, and then it says apply the settings. Yep, that's what we want to do. So I'm going to click apply, and now it's connecting to the wireless LAN. And it says connected. Specify the machine registration. So now we need to register our machine. And so I'm going to click next. So what we need to do is make the machine talk to the software, which is called Canvas Workspace. So I will have to show my, share my screen with you for a minute too to get part of this done. So let's go ahead and click next on the machine, and then it will take me to the machine registration page. Okay, you can also access that through the settings page. So I'm going to hit register because I'm ready to register it. And then it's going to give me the number that's on the inside of my machine. So this is the number inside my machine. Okay, so what we need to do now is go get the software. That's where we have to put that number. So just a second, and we'll go to the software. So let me share my screen with you, and we'll go talk about the software. Okay, I know it looks weird. I have to switch. So it should be looking at my screen now. Okay, so what we're going to do is, if you do not have an account with Canvas Workspace, it's canvasworkspace.brother.com where you would go to get an account, a free account with Brother. So I'm going to open up my browser here, and I'm already there. It's canvasworkspace.brother.com. This is the main setup page. Okay, so if you do not have an account with them already, just click the register button, and I'll show you this. I already have an account, so we won't fill out everything. And you just kind of, scroll down to the bottom, and they have all the gobbledygook you're supposed to read and all that stuff. And then you agree to the stuff, and then you click register. Okay, then it's going to ask you to make a login ID and a password and your email and your name and all that jazz. Okay, so after you fill all that stuff out, and we've all done this before, so it's not hard, they will send you an email, and you do need to finish the registration by clicking on the email link. So just be aware that there will be an email coming to you. Okay, so let's go back to that main page. So this main page here also has something that you will need if you want to have the software on your computer. There's two versions of the software. If I would click log in up here, it would take me to the online version of this software. You can also use it on a tablet that way. Or if you scroll down this page, here a little ways, here it says Canvas Workspace. So a little bit further down it says download the software. So there's also software available that goes on your computer. You're still going to be logged in to the internet, so it is internet dependent, but it will be on your computer. The machines have gone more and more so that you need to use this software instead of the online one to do some of the specific things. There are a couple of things yet that you have to go to the online version. So I would just go to canvasworkspace.brother.com and hit login there. Okay, so it's hard to explain. We'll talk about that more as we go into some of the other features of some of the other machines and this one. But what I've been using mostly is the downloadable version now. So we're going to set this all up through that. You would click this button that says download software and just install it on your computer as normal software. Okay, so it just does that for you. Okay, so that's where that is. So that's the downloadable version. So let me go ahead and bring my screen down again. And I'm going to show you that software. So if I go over here, I have installed it, and here it is right here. Okay, Brother Canvas Workspace. So I'm just going to double click on it. Now I have logged into this recently, and it lets you stay logged in for 7 days. Okay, you do have to have, it has to be, it is internet dependent. So you're actually like logging into your account online. Okay. So right now there was a new update not too long ago that added the duplicate function, which is really awesome. And we'll get into that some other day, but that was a nice feature I liked. So I'm going to click OK here. And then all of these patterns open up. And this is the project patterns, and these are all free. And there's some really, really nice designs in here. So you can pick these, you can click on them, and you can make some. And we have done some of these in previous classes. So this is a lot of fun. So to get rid of this, then I'm just going to go up here to the corner. And just to let you know, these are the Canvas free ones. The second one over is the pattern collections. So if you own some of these pattern collections, it'll tell you here that you own those. And then the Disney one is going to come up and say you have to go to the web browser to use the Disney. So that's one of the things, you have to be on the web version of this in order to use your Disney cards, because I have some Disney cards. So we'll get in. I've done some stuff about activating things before, so you don't need to. So it opened that back up again so that I'd have to log in here. You do have to log in to each place separately. So if that makes sense to you. So we're not going to use that part of the software tonight because we won't need that tonight. Okay, so I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to go back to my other software. Okay, so we're going to get rid of this little screen just by clicking the little X in the corner. And then here's the regular software. So this is the Canvas Workspace software. I do use this, so I have some stuff over here on the left that may not look like your software. And I did a really nice video on this software, just kind of an overview of it several months ago. And so I'll have that whole file of Canvas or Scan and Cut classes set up for you and linked in the video below. Okay. So this is the regular software that is on your computer. So I installed this. It's now on my computer. So we need to register the machine next. So that's what we're going to do. So I'm going to go up here at the top on these little file menus, and I'm going to click Help to do that. And then I'm going to go down to Account Settings. And then here are the account settings. So like if I would go to the online version and click on my name, it would take me to the same page that we're looking at right now. Okay. So now I want to register a machine. So that's why I have to go click Register Machine. If I wanted to register a pattern collection, they give you the little cards. That's where I would go, this button here. Or if I had a premium function, like I have the rhinestone feature or I have the sticker feature, that's where I would register those. Okay, so we're going to do Register a Machine. So I'm going to click on Register the Machine. And I'm going to go down here. Now, you can have, I believe, up to 3 Scan and Cuts registered at the same time in your Canvas workspace. Okay. But one thing I did find out last night is that I have my Artspira app, which we will also talk about a little bit briefly later, on my phone. I have that registered using my Canvas Workspace account. That's how I get into mine, and that seems to work the best for me. But they only allow you to have a total of 4 items registered at the same time. So I was having a little trouble last night that I had my Scan and Cut, And then I had, so you can see I have a Scan and Cut. That's my old one there. And then if I go down below here, I also have my PR and my Luminaire. And then I had my Avenir registered. So then these little buttons here that says register a new sewing machine or register a new machine for the Scan and Cut were not there because I already had 4 items registered. So I deregistered one of my sewing machines so that I could register both of my Scan and Cuts. So just be aware that you may only be able to do 4 items if you're using your Artspira app connected to your workspace. So that's what I found out last night. Okay, so we're going to register a new machine. So I'm just going to click that button. And it's going to ask me to type in that number that was on the machine. Remember just earlier we had a number that came up on the screen, and I'm just going to type that number in here. So I have to make sure I read it properly off of the screen on my Scan and Cut. Okay, so I think I got it. Let me make sure I got it right. Okay, so then I'm going to click the OK button at the bottom of this little screen. So I'm going to click OK. And then it's going to give me a 4-digit number. So now we need to go back to the machine to finish this up. So I'm going to leave this down. So just a second. Let's go back to the machine camera. Okay, so here's my machine again. So there's that number. Whoops, I'm sorry. Here's that number that I just typed in. I'm going to click OK over here. And then I'm going to type in the pin code that was on in my Canvas Workspace account. So I have to go look at it again because I can't remember what it was. Okay, I remember what it was. All right, so I have to look at it, make sure I get it right. Okay. So here's I'm going to type the number in. Okay, and I'm going to click OK. By clicking OK, following the information will be sent to Brother's server to pair your machine with my software. So I'm just going to click OK. And so it's going to go talk to Brother, and then it will know that this machine is linked to my account. So it just takes a minute for it to go. And of course, we needed to be on the internet first before we did this. The machine registration setting has been specified. So good. So we're going to click OK. So we're all done. So see now here under machine registration, it says it's connected to JS Dolls 103, which is my little user guide. Okay, my little username. So there we have that. So I'm going to go back quickly here. So let me switch back to the software for just a second for you. So you can see there's my little, okay, so there's my little pin code. And then I'm going to go back down here underneath the pin code and click OK here. So then we're all done. And you'll notice that there's now 2 cutting machines hooked up, my old one and my new one. It does say the pin code has not been registered, but it takes a couple minutes and then that'll go away. Okay, so now we're just going to click close here in the software. Okay, so now we have the machine is registered and it will allow us to send designs from Canvas Workspace. Okay, so let's look at a couple of things in the settings then. So I'm going to go back to the camera on the machine here. Sorry, I have to switch back and forth a little bit. Okay, so we're going to go back in here. So this is already registered. We got that done. I'm going to go ahead and go hit the back button up here. And there's a couple of things that I want to show you in the settings page. So let's go back up to the beginning. If you'd like to speak a different language, obviously you can do that. You can change units from millimeters to inches. Now they do ship our machines in inches, which is nice. The cut area right now says 11.73 by 11.65. In other words, it's a 12 by 12 mat. If you need to work with your 12 by 24 mat, you need to change that here, and this will allow you to do the 12 by 24 mat. Okay, so that's why if like your machine won't read your long mat, it's because you didn't go in and tell it that's the mat that I'm using. So I'm just going to leave mine on 12 by 12 right now and click OK. Let's go down a couple pages. So some of this stuff we won't talk about right now. I actually have talked about a lot of this stuff in other videos, and I'll link that playlist for you so you can see it. Here's the cut speed. The average cut speed is 5, which that's the default settings. You can go a little faster. You can go slower. So we'll just leave it on 5. That sounds good. The auto cut pressure is on. That's what I want. If I'm using a manual blade, here's where I change that pressure. I've shown you that in other videos as well. And let's see. We don't need the half cut on tonight. We won't use that. Let's see if there's anything else we want to change. So like here's the draw pressure and the draw speed. We might need that for other things. Okay, this auto shutdown is something I like to change. I sometimes have my machine on for quite some time, and I like to change this to like as high as I can go, which is 4 hours. So then if it's on, it won't like shut off on me when I'm in the middle of doing things. So I always put that auto shutdown on a higher number. Okay, so let's go down another. Okay, and then the other thing I like to change is this opening screen. Now the opening screen is like a little swirly thing with pictures at the beginning, and you have to touch the screen a couple of extra times to get rid of it. So I turn that off once I bring it home. Then you don't have to hit the screen so many times to get your machine going. Okay, so then we got our number on our machine and then your version. Now I did update this last night in the live video, so I'll show you what I did. It's already updated. So I'm going to hit version. And the most current version is 1.86. Generally, if there's an update, I'll show you real quick on the main screen. There might be a little exclamation point right next to this little icon here. If there's an update, then if you press it, it'll take you there. Okay, so I'm going to hit the wrench to get back to where we were, and it's down a little way. So we'll touch this down arrow a couple times. Okay, so here's the version, but this is how you get to it if you just want to check. So here's the 1.86. That is the most current version. But if you hit the little icon that looks like the wireless symbol, because we're going to use the Wi-Fi to do this, we're going to touch that, and it's going to think about it, and it's going to say, oh, there's no updates available. So if you're not sure, you can always go and just check it. Okay. You can also manually add updates to this machine with the stick. Most of the time I use the Wi-Fi if I have it available to me. Okay, so that's the update procedure. Now, a couple of people told me, and I did too, with this machine last night, and also with my older one, when I did this update, there was a problem and it wouldn't go back on the internet. So let me show you how to fix that. I'm just going to get my note out here so I can remind myself what I did. So let's go down to okay, so it shows my machine's registered, and the first thing you have to do, so like after you do 1.86 and it doesn't go back on the internet, if you go down to the reset button, which is all the way at the bottom of the pages, hit reset and network reset. Okay, if you hit that, and I'm not going to do the reset, I'm just going to tell it no. That resets the network, and then you can go back and put your password in again, and it will work, because I did it right away and it had no problems. Okay, so that's a fix for that if you were having problems with this update. So I'm just going to tell it no. Okay, so that's how you do it, is under reset. All right, let me see if I've got any other, I don't want to miss anything. Okay, so we've got it set up with Canvas Workspace. We've got the Canvas Workspace put on our computer. Okay, we can check for the update. Let's see. I gotta make sure I'm reading my little notes here. Registered the machine, we did that. Registered the new machine, put the pin in. Okay, so now we know that the machine and the computer are going to talk to each other, right? So we're going to click OK. And I'm going to go back over here to my computer, and let's send something over to the machine to make sure it works. So give me a second. We'll switch back over to my computer screen. And then, so here's my software. So let's go ahead and send something over to the machine to see if it works. So I'm going to click, well, let's just go get something cute. I like this, it says fun and it's a bunch of words and different things. So let's just do a neat word. So let's just say cheer. Okay, so we're going to bring cheer over. So it's in the software. These are free designs that are in the software, and it's a nice word. So we're going to go ahead, and we got this ready to go now, and now I want to send this to my machine for cutting. So to do that, I'm going to go up to File, and I'm going to hit Export Transfer FCM File. So I'm just going to go ahead and click on that. And then there's several different options. I can export the FCM file. So in other words, that means I can just save it to my computer or to a stick, okay? I can transfer my FCM file via the internet, and that's what I'm going to do. Or I can actually transfer it with a cord. So if you have a USB cord you want to hook to your machine, you can hook it to your computer directly to the machine. Like if you don't have Wi-Fi, for instance, that would be something that you could use. So I'm going to transfer it via the internet. So I'm going to click that, and it's going to track, and it says the registered machine is ready to download the transferred file from the internet. Okay. So let's see if it made it there. So what do you think? Let's all go back to the camera on the machine here. Okay. So here's our machine. Let's see if it got there. So I would, in order to find that, let me find my little stick again. Retrieve the data. Okay. And then we're going to go up here to the cloud, and that's where the wireless information is. This is where you'd get it if you send it with a USB cord, and this is where you would use if you send it with a USB stick. Okay, so we're going to go up to this one, and let's see if it got there. It's thinking, oh, look at there. It's right there. There's cheer. Okay, there it is. So we can edit it, object edit, and let's make it a little bit bigger. So I'm just going to make it a little bigger. This will bring it up in aspect ratio so you can see it a little better on the screen. I'll just make it so you can see it. So there's our word cheer. I can click OK, and then OK again, and OK, and then I'm back to the main screen. I could scan with the machine here. I'm going to click OK one more time, and then we'd be ready to do the cutting. So here's please select. You would say cut, draw, emboss, whatever you're going to do. Here, tell it what you're going to do. Okay. And then I'm going to cut, and then I put my paper on my mat and cut my word cheer out. So it worked. So we're connected and ready to go. So since this is the only machine I had on, that's how it knew where to go. Okay, so it went to this machine because this is the machine that was on the internet at the same time as my computer. Okay, so I think we're going to go ahead. Let's see. So we said, oh, let's talk just a little bit about Artspira. Okay, so let me hit the house button, and I'll go grab my phone here. My phone's next to me here, I think. Okay, so let's talk a little bit about Artspira. So when you go into Artspira, you have to go, you can get it on the Apple Store or on the, and so I'll just have to hold my phone up here, sorry. There might be a little bit of a glare. But you can just go to the app. I have an Android phone, so I just went to the Play Store and I got the app, Artspira app, okay? And so you just download it onto your phone and install it just like you do all other apps. I think most of you have done that. So let's see if it's found my new machine yet. So I always log into Artspira using the same credentials that I use for my Canvas Workspace. Okay, so I'm logged in to this already using the same stuff that I use to log into Canvas Workspace. So I'm going to click this little button up here, and it should automatically know that I've got to connect. I've got two machines because I'm logged in with the same stuff. So here is my stuff. So it shows the two cutting machines here, and they're numbered differently. So if I need to transfer things from Artspira to either machine, I can do that. So both say ready for transferring. Okay, these are the sewing machines that I have connected to my Artspira. And then I also have a printer up here that I use sometimes with it, and it's my Brother sublimation printer. Okay, so those are the items that I have. Now I'm not sure that it's going to let me use all 5 of these things at the same time, because let me see what it does here. That's one of the things I wasn't sure about, but it does let me do the wireless printer. Looks like it's going to let me set it up. This is the one I wanted. Okay, so it did. So it did let me do the 5th item, but it wouldn't let me do 2 machines and 3 sewing machines. 2 Scan N Cuts and 3 sewing machines, but it does look like it'll let me do the sublimation printer as well. So I do have all of them connected into my Artspira. And I've done some classes on Artspira. If you want to see, I did one kind of longer one, so I might go ahead and link that one in the video below this video to the description so that you can see that. I didn't want to get into it too much, but you can also connect your Scan N Cut to your Artspira app. I don't use Artspira that much. They have 2 versions of it now. They have a paid version and they have a free version. And there's not as much stuff in here that's free as there used to be. So I don't use it as much as I used to. And there's some really cute projects. So you can go up here and then there's some projects in here. So if you touch projects, it has all these really cute projects. And some of them are free and some of them you have to pay for. Okay, and they have a subscription, so you can do a monthly subscription if you want to. All right, so there's a little bit about Artspira. Okay, so again, I log into Artspira with my credentials that I use for my same password and everything that I use for my Canvas Workspace. Keeps it easy for me. For Artspira, you can use like your Google account or your Apple account also, but I just wanted to keep everything under one password. It was just easier for me. So that's what I do. And I use my Canvas Workspace one. Okay. So there's a little bit about Artspira. Again, I'll link the more full-blown video about Artspira. I think I've done a couple of them, and I'll link those in the description below the video too. Okay. So now we're ready to cut. I'm so excited. I get to cut on my new machine. So let's go ahead. Bring this back a little bit so you can see. I am going to go grab my other mat. So give me a second here. I'm just going to go around the corner here and grab the other mat. Okay, so I've got my mat. This is the same standard mat. It's just not quite so sticky. It's an older mat and it's a good mat yet. So that way we won't have to worry about our cardstock getting stuck on it. I'm going to go ahead and bump this up against the rollers. I'm going to lay my hand in front like this and I'm going to hit this button. I don't know if you can quite see it. The button that looks like a mat, and that's how we're going to load our mat. Now you do want to hold the center of the mat down so that it does have a little support so that it doesn't wrinkle your mat or go in sideways. Okay, so we got that in. Now we need to put our blade in. So this is the standard auto blade. So this machine will adjust the blade for you. You don't have to do it anymore, which is really awesome. So I'm going to take the little cover off. And then here's my blade. This is the standard auto blade, which is the black one. I'm going to slip it up here, okay, and press it down. So now we're ready to cut. So this little booklet, where did I lay? Oh, here's my little booklet. All right, so we're going to use the little booklet here, and we're going to do this cute little box because it has this little, and it's right in the machine. So, and it's been in the machine for a while. So I think some of you, if you've had an older machine, it's still probably in there. So we're going to do this cute little box. Let's see what it says for us to do. We got up the machine all set up. You know, this is all, you know, make sure you open the tray and the little cover thing in the back to pull it out and all that. Plug it in. Okay, so then we put the fabric or the paper on the mat that they gave us. And I put my blade in, so it shows you how to do that. And then it's going to tell us where to go to get our little design. So we're going to hit, the thing that's cool about the Scan N Cut that is different than a lot of other cutters is that other cutters don't have anything built into them. Like the Cricut, which I like. I mean, I like them both. I like both these machines. I use them for different purposes. But there's no designs in the machine. You have to make your own or get your own in software and send it over. Well, this machine has tons of stuff built into it. You can scan and make your own designs right in the machine. And I've always loved the Scan N Cut, especially for a lot of my students that are, you know, uncomfortable with the computer. This machine can be standalone. You don't need any software at all. I mean, I use this machine a lot with no software. Okay, so we use some software today, but we don't have to. You can just use the machine just like this, and there's tons of stuff in here. So it says patterns. So we're going to go to the patterns. That's where our little design is. And then we're going to go to the second one over here that has the Eiffel Tower on it. So we're going to click on that. So that's where it is. And then it tells me to go to, let's see, oh, all the way at the bottom of this page. So yep, there's another page here. So I'm going to click the down arrow, and it's down here where this little box is. So here's the box. It looks like there might be a couple in here. Yeah, there's a couple of boxes. And there's some flowers. Look, there's some rolled flowers too. Okay, so we got the box, and I think it's the second one. So it's this one they tell you to do. So we're going to do the one that looks kind of green. And it's 9.4 by 9.4. So we're just going to leave the size the same because we know we got plenty of paper then. And then I'm going to click set. So I'm ready for my design. That was right in the machine. And then we're going to click OK. And then it takes us to the cutting page. So this is our cutting page. I'm going to click please select and cut. Okay, so it's ready to cut. It's auto. It's going to take about 3 minutes. The speed is 5 and the half cut is off. You can do a test cut here if you want to. You don't need to. And what it does is it adds like a little square or a little circle or triangle somewhere to make sure that the machine's cutting. Now, since this machine has an auto blade, I don't often do a test cut anymore. Every now and then I do, but not very often. Okay, so I'm going to back this up a little bit so you can watch it cut. I'm going to hit the start button. Okay, so we're going to watch it cut. It's going to cut out our little box. We'll put our box together. I think that was the last thing on my little notes. And then I'm going to show you what we're going to do in June yet. So June of 2025, the next class will be June, what did I decide it was? June 18th, I believe. And we will do a project on the ScanNCut. So I thought, well, I'm going to make something, and it's going to be a free design for you that I made. And I will put it in, when I list it on Facebook and on YouTube, I will put I'll put the link to the free design for you. And then you can download this little design. So I'll show it to you here in a minute. But I want to give you a chance to watch the machine cut. So I'm very excited I get to watch my machine cut for the first time, you know. It's always fun to get a new machine. Oh, and then I'll show you my little cover. Can you see my cover over here? I've always got my machine covered. It's over here. I'll show you that too. And that's a video that I have in my on my YouTube channel too, is making that cover. And I give you the pattern for it. Because I like to keep mine covered, I always have. So right now what it's doing, it's going up and down. And what it's doing is it's making like perforations in the paper so that you can fold it. So it doesn't really have a scoring tool. That's how it scores, is by making little cuts in the paper. So that's how the ScanNCut thinks when it needs to score. All right, so it looks like it's doing the little top, there's a little ornament at the top of the box. It's doing that. So hopefully you can hear me okay. I checked my audio before I started. That's the problem we had last night, was audio. So I checked that before we started. All right, so it's going around the edge of the box. Don't want it to hit the tripod here, so hopefully it won't. And around there. Looks like it's doing a very good job. So it is kind of cool because now I have a Disney machine and a non-Disney machine. So I think I'll just keep my Disney machine and take it to the store. Then I'll have a machine always there to cut on. Okay, so now it just says finish cutting. Okay, tell it okay. And then I'm going to hit the little house button up here. I don't know if you can quite see it. Let me raise this up just a little bit. The house button right here. And it says okay to delete the pattern. Yep, that's fine. It just deletes it off the screen. And now we're back to our main screen. Okay, so let's see if we can get this little box together here. All right, so give me a second. I'm going to hit the same button over here. All right, that unloads the mat. Right here. So I'm going to hit that, unload the mat. Now, when you take this, when you take paper, especially paper, off of the mats, it's better to do it upside down. So I'm going to just close my ScanNCut up. Hopefully, whoops, got my little stick in here. There we go. I'm going to push this back just a little bit so I can turn this over. So I'm going to take this and turn it over. like this. And then I like to peel the mat away from my project. That way we don't get ripping, okay? So that I just got the extra paper off of the edges. And then I'm going to turn this over, and you want to be a little careful because it's got those little preparations in there. Just be careful. I'm going to pull this off. And there were some little pieces that came out. But you want to peel the mat away from your project. Lay your project down on the table and peel it away. And that really works the best for any cutting machine you have is to do that, because I've also found that my Cricut, if I try to do it the other way, it does not do well. And it will also curl your paper, so you don't want to do that. All right, so now we're going to put this little box together. I think it's all in one piece. So there's little preparations here, and I'm going to fold it on all those little preparations right there. So if I can see them, it's dark paper. So I'm going to fold these up. Let's use your finger to kind of get them scored in there nicely. All right, and then I think there's some up here. So this is going to be like the top of the box. This little crown is going to be on the top of the box. So we'll just kind of fold those down that way because we want them to come together like this. Okay, so I folded them away from the inside. Okay, so then to make the box, we're going to put these together like this. I'm going to kind of push it down, and then it slides into these little slots. This cute little crown. Well, I got to get a hold of it better here. There we go. Slide it through there like that, and then down like that. And there's that little box. Isn't that adorable? And then wouldn't that be fun to put like a little gift in there or candies in there and give that to somebody? Isn't that cute? And there's another box in there too, so you'll have to try the other one. I thought it was really cool. But there's our first little project on the new ScanNCut. I'm so excited. So let me put it up there. So here's my first little project on my new ScanNCut. So let me show you. This is how I store it then. And then I'll show you the project that we're going to do in a couple of weeks. Okay, so I'm going to go ahead and turn this off. So to turn it off, you're going to hit the same button as you turned it on with. But you kind of have to hold it for a second, and then it shuts down. I'm going to put my little stick over here, and you can kind of see my little command hook. I'm going to stick it over there. This little cap, I'm going to leave my blade in the machine, so I'll put the cap down in here so I won't lose it. Okay. Then I'm going to lay my screen down, move our box here, and then I have this cover. So this was another class I did, and in that playlist for ScanNCut, this is in there, and I give you the pattern for the cover and everything. So, and then also this was part of the class, and so you could actually just take the class then and do this. And this was all done with heat transfer vinyl and ironed onto it. Isn't that cool? So then I just lay this over the top, and it fits this one. I'll have to make another cover because I have two ScanNCuts now. All right. And then what I do on my little frame here, with my little legs, I just pick this up and it sets back on the little legs like that when I'm storing it, so that I have more space on my table on the front. So isn't that cool? So I have my little double layered machines here. So, okay. So now I'm going to show you this is what we're going to do in 2 weeks. So this is going to be our ScanNCut. We're going to have, so June's kind of going to be ScanNCut month, because I had to have my sewing machine service, so I wasn't sure how long it would take. So I figured we'd do a couple ScanNCut classes. So this is going to be what we're going to make. Now this is called an explosion box, and I'm not quite done with it. So there's going to be some more once I advertise it, and when you see it in 2 weeks, they'll have a little bit more ornament stuff on it, but it's not quite done. So it has a lid, and I made the bow out of paper, and you'll get the design free. So you get this whole thing. So when you open this lid up, it's going to fall open. Now watch. So it falls open, and there's going to be candy bars. I put candy bars on the sides. So this is going to be like a birthday box. So I was for somebody that likes candies. Okay. And then I have another lid, and I'm going to pull the second lid off. And these will open up a little better once I'm completely done, because I'm going to put some card sentiments on here, or you could put more candy if you wanted to. And then on this side, I actually put little pockets that you can put either like little sentiment cards. A lot of the paper comes with these fun sentiment cards. Or you could put gift cards in there. That would also fit a gift card in there. Okay, so that's what the second layer is going to be. And then the third layer, I made another little tiny bow. And if I pull this off, it's just a little box, and I've got candies in that. So this will be our little project for June 18th of 2025. Yeah, the 18th. Is that right? I want to make sure I got the date right. Haven't looked at the calendar, so I think it's the 18th. Yes, the 18th. And I will have this design. I haven't got it up on the group yet, but it will be up on the Dropbox where you can get this design for free. And we're going to cut out this design and make it in the class. So this will be a little fun scan and cut class. So then you can put it back together. So here's my, I put this lid back on, then this lid comes up like this. So I've got a little bit left to do on it, but I wanted to at least show you a sneak peek of it here. Put the lid back on, hopefully. I tried to make the lids snug enough so they held nice, but not too tight to put on, like that. And then this comes back up with the candy bars on it, and put this lid back on. So there is going to be our project for in a couple of weeks. So it's called an explosion box. Okay. So thank you so much for joining me. I'm sorry that the live video had some audio issues. So I decided I wanted to get this done for you so you have a good video to see me unbox and set up my brand new ScanNCut. If you have not subscribed to my YouTube channel, Sew Along with Jan, please do, because it helps me out, and then you will get the notifications, and it also gives you notifications of when there are new videos coming out. Also, I have a Facebook group called Sew Along with Jan. So if you haven't joined the Facebook group, I put a lot of posts up. We post pictures of our projects there, and then you can also join me there. So thanks so much for joining me today, and I will see you in the next video to do this explosion box. Thanks, everybody. Bye-bye.